Archangel Michael says, something is pretending to be you. Did you feel it? That strange heaviness on your chest this week? Did you hear your name whispered in prayer, but knew it wasn't you who said it? Have your thoughts been interrupted by shadows that don't belong to you? Then open this now, because this isn't just spiritual warfare. It's impersonation. And the spirit doing it is wearing a mask you've loved. Yes, I said it. The one behind the attack is someone you trust. Archangel Michael says, this is a divine interception. There is a mirror in the spirit realm reflecting an image that looks like you, sounds like you, even moves like you. But it is not you. It was formed by envy, fueled by spiritual surveillance, and now it is being used to steal prayers, hijack blessings, and confuse divine timing. This is not paranoia. This is precision. Your name has been spoken in a room you were never invited to. Your dreams have been whispered about by a spirit cloaked in someone else's love. And tonight I am sounding the alarm. Wake up. I, Michael, have drawn my sword not against an outsider, but one near your table. Someone whose eyes shift when you speak. Someone who lays hands on you in prayer but their spirit is not clean. They've been watching you, not to protect, but to replicate. Heaven says, the breach stops now. You must not scroll past this moment. You must not silence your suspicion, because what has been mimicking you is about to be exposed, and you will need the courage to accept it. Type 444 if your spirit feels the warning. Michael is near, and he's not just guarding, he's preparing for confrontation. Archangel Michael says, the imitation in the spirit. You are not crazy. That tension in your sleep, that dream where you saw yourself but your eyes were empty, that voice that sounded like yours speaking things you would never say, that wasn't confusion. That was a spiritual impersonation, and I have come to rip the mask off. Impersonation in the spirit is not imagination. It is infiltration. There is a copy of your name, a copy of your prayers, and even a copy of your destiny being mimicked by dark forces. And the goal? To block, to delay, to contaminate everything you were anointed to receive. It begins subtly. A strange prayer you never prayed but you feel drained after. A prophetic word someone gives you that leaves you disturbed, not blessed. A dream where you saw yourself crying out to God, but you woke up confused, anxious, heavy. That's because it was not you. It was something pretending to be you. Listen now. This imitation is not random. It was constructed by a jealous spirit. A demonic network has observed your patterns, your calling, your voice, your impact, and decided to create a spiritual counterfeit to intercept what was meant for you. Yes, I said it. Some of the spiritual warfare you've been facing isn't just attack, it's identity theft in the supernatural realm. Let me break it open. When a destiny is powerful, heaven marks it. But hell also notices. And when the enemy cannot destroy you, he imitates you. This imitation becomes a spiritual mask, one that's worn by spirits assigned to replicate your anointing and reroute the favor heading toward you. That's why your dreams have shifted. That's why people have suddenly become confused about you. That's why doors that once opened effortlessly now seem stuck. You are not forgotten. You are being impersonated. And worse, someone near you is allowing it. You think it's just spiritual? No. This spirit is using a human host, someone who has access to your heart, your home, or your history. They are your friend, your prayer partner, your confidant. But their soul has been touched by a spirit of mimicry, and they are unintentionally, or willingly, channeling your energy, your ideas, your very prayers, as if they were their own. Archangel Michael says, this is treason. I am not gentle with betrayers of the light. This impersonating spirit tries to mock your authority. It says the same things you say. It mirrors your voice. But when it speaks, the heavens do not respond. It is all echo, no power. You must understand this. Demons cannot create. They only imitate. But the real damage happens here, when those closest to you begin echoing your spiritual assignments with different motives. What you received in a vision, they try to replicate in flesh. What you wrote in your private prayers, they suddenly post publicly as if it was revealed to them. This is the enemy's strategy. Duplicate your voice, divert your blessing, destroy your credibility. This is why your discernment has been on edge. This is why you suddenly don't trust someone the way you used to. It's not bitterness. It's spiritual clarity trying to emerge. And tonight, heaven is backing you. Archangel Michael says, I will expose the counterfeit. Do not be surprised when someone you love begins acting strange. Do not be caught off guard when they mimic your words, your dreams, your intentions, but with an energy that feels hollow. This is not just flattery. It is an infiltration tactic. The impersonator is not trying to become you. They are trying to spiritually replace you. Let me make this plain. Some of the prayers you've been waiting on have not been delayed by God. They've been redirected by confusion in the spirit, because the one impersonating you is trying to intercept your harvest. Yes, they are sowing confusion in rooms you're not in. They are speaking to others about your journey as if it were theirs. And in the spirit realm, it creates noise. Noise that muddies the clarity heaven was sending to bless you. But tonight the veil lifts. I have sounded the alarm before the impersonation goes further. I, Michael, declare, no demon can wear your name again. Heaven has now placed a seal on your identity. A new authority is being activated in you right now, a spiritual firewall that cannot be crossed. From this moment forward, everything that tries to imitate you will be struck with divine confusion. Every person who has spoken your spiritual secrets without your permission will feel the silence of heaven over their life. And every demon that has tried to mock your prayers will now be silenced by the sound of judgment. Because I, Archangel Michael, have stood in the court of heaven, and I have declared your identity protected. But there is one more thing you must understand. You cannot walk in your full identity while protecting someone else's imitation. You must let go of who they were to you and see who they've become. You must stop covering the one who's covering you in spiritual camouflage. This is not just a warning. This is your line in the sand. You are being called to walk in spiritual truth, not emotional loyalty. And truth reveals that someone you trust is allowing your name to be used in the wrong realm. It's time to shut it down. Archangel Michael says, I'm handing you the sword now. Use it. Cut off emotional attachments that are protecting spiritual leeches. Cut off conversations that dilute your discernment. Cut off prayers that sound right, but leave you empty. You are not who they think you are. You are more. You are marked. You are rising. And no imitation can stop a divine original. Type 777 if you are ready to reclaim your spiritual identity. This is not a drill. The impersonator has been spotted, and heaven is no longer silent. Archangel Michael says, the masked face is familiar. You looked into their eyes and saw comfort. You heard their voice and felt safe. You laughed with them, cried beside them, prayed in the same room. But tonight, I must tell you something that will shake you. The enemy has been using someone close to you. They weren't always like this, but something changed, and you felt it. Access to your past pain and current prayers. They heard what you were believing for and repeated it elsewhere. They touched what was sacred and wore it like it belonged to them. Archangel Michael says, this is not just betrayal. It is spiritual identity laundering. The devil has no creativity, so he borrows mouths, borrows familiarity, borrows your routines through those closest to you. That friend who started dressing like you, that sibling who suddenly has your calling, that mentor whose words feel strangely manipulative lately. All of this is part of a spiritual mimicry rooted in jealousy. But I'm not just exposing the symptoms. I'm revealing the operation. There is a spiritual contract, yes, a demonic agreement, that was formed behind your back, and your name was used. Someone you once prayed with is now repeating your anointing with altered intent. They are praying prayers that sound holy, but are spiritually hollow. They are laying hands in rooms and speaking your future like it belongs to them. And you've noticed, you've been more tired around them. You feel foggy after talking with them. You keep dreaming about someone's face, but their mouth is sewn shut. That's not coincidence. That is heaven trying to get your attention. Listen to me now. There was a moment, about 7 nights ago, when you woke up in the middle of the night. You felt watched. The room was silent, but the air was heavy. You looked at your phone and the time was 3:17 or maybe 4:44. That wasn't just restlessness. That was your angel trying to shake your spirit awake. I was there, and I saw the spirit hovering over your house. It didn't come through the window. It came through a memory, through a voice you trust. It carried the face of someone you love. Because that's how infiltration works. The enemy doesn't always use strangers. He uses familiarity as camouflage. But now the mask is cracking. Pay attention to conversations that change when you walk in. Pay attention to slips of the tongue from people who always seem to know more than you told them. Pay attention to how often you second-guess yourself after being around them. That's not your lack of confidence. That's spiritual manipulation. Archangel Michael says, "The spell is breaking. For too long you have covered them, prayed for them, excused them. But while you were defending them in the natural, they were selling you out in the spirit. This is not about hate. This is about recognition. You must recognize when someone's connection to you has become a portal for darkness, even if they're family, even if they once blessed you, even if they don't consciously know they've been hijacked. The spirit using them knows exactly what it's doing. Let me show you something. Have you noticed how drained you feel after sharing your victories with them? Have you observed how their advice often includes just enough truth to confuse your next step? Have you ever shared a dream with them, only to feel regret afterward, as if you gave something away? That is because you did. There is a spiritual breach, and they are the opening. I am not telling you to hate them. I am telling you to see them. The mask is familiar, but the motives are not. You are under divine surveillance. Heaven has been tracking every word spoken behind your back, every text they deleted, every screenshot they saved, every prophecy they twisted. And now, Archangel Michael says, it ends tonight. The exposure is coming swiftly. Someone will say something soon, something they didn't mean to say. And when you hear it, you will know. That's your confirmation. Someone will react harshly when you succeed. Unexpected anger masked as concern. That's your confirmation. Someone will accidentally repeat your private plans to someone who should not know. That's your confirmation. When it happens, don't panic. Don't argue. Don't retaliate. Just listen. Because heaven will be speaking through their slip. I will cause them to trip over their own disguise. And what they tried to hide behind your name will be seen for what it is. This is why you've felt emotionally unstable around them. It's not just emotional, it's spiritual bleeding. They've been feeding off your light. But no more. From this moment, every word they speak against you will fall to the ground. Every spirit they hosted will be silenced. And every blessing they tried to intercept will boomerang back to you sevenfold. Archangel Michael says, you are not crazy. You are covered. The mask has been familiar. But the time for pretending is over. God is pulling the curtain back. Not to shame, but to separate. This is your separation season. And it begins with the realization that not everyone praying near you is praying for you. Type 9999 if you're ready for divine separation and full exposure. The face is familiar. But the spirit behind it has been hiding too long. Tonight, it is seen. Archangel Michael says, Michael draws the line. I have waited long enough. I've walked the perimeter of your house. I've stood at your bedside while you slept. I've watched the tears fall. Tears you tried to hide from heaven. And now the sword has been drawn. This is not symbolic. This is not poetic. This is war. I, Archangel Michael, was not sent to comfort tonight. I was sent to confront. The line has been drawn in the spirit. The season of tolerating betrayal under the disguise of loyalty is over. Heaven is done watching you bleed spiritually while calling it love. Listen carefully. There is a reason I carry a sword, not a scroll, not a harp. My role is not to whisper lullabies into soft places. My role is to cut, to sever what is unholy, to split darkness from light, to protect divine timelines from demonic interference. And tonight, yes, this night, I have drawn my blade against what has impersonated your identity. I have come for the impersonator. I have come for the familiar spirit hiding behind the face you once trusted. I have come for the spiritual contract that was written without your consent. It is finished. You've sensed a shift in the atmosphere, haven't you? That eerie silence during prayer. That moment when the room feels heavy for no reason. That sudden urge to cry, but with no words attached to it. That's because the exposure has already begun. The sword of heaven is not delayed. It has struck in secret, and soon it will echo in the natural. You will begin to notice the fallout. People who once praised you will suddenly fall silent. Conversations will grow cold. Someone who once stood beside you will distance themselves, not out of guilt, but out of fear. Because the line has been drawn, and every spirit attached to your delay has now been challenged by my presence. You see, the enemy works through agreements, whispers, jealous glances, manipulated prayers. But I come to destroy those contracts, to cut off access, to mark you as untouchable from this night forward. Archangel Michael says, I don't just stand guard, I fight. And I have already begun to dismantle the structure built against you. Let me tell you what's happening now, what you cannot yet see. In the spiritual realm, a courtroom has opened. Your name has been called before the throne of God. And I stood there, sword raised, voice strong, and declared, This one shall no longer be impersonated. Their voice shall no longer be stolen. Their future shall no longer be delayed by counterfeits. And the Lord answered, Let the line be drawn. Do you feel that sudden pressure around your temple? That strange warmth on your skin? That is my presence pressing through the veil to reach you. Not with comfort, but with cleansing fire. Tonight your space is being cleared, not just your room, your spiritual perimeter. Everything that was watching you with false motives is now under divine indictment. Every familiar face hiding unfamiliar motives is now exposed in heaven. And soon, it will show in your reality. You must prepare yourself for the effects of this warfare. Because when I draw my sword, I don't just cast out demons, I separate destinies. That means certain relationships will collapse without warning. Invitations will be withdrawn. Calls will go unanswered. People will say you've changed. But what really changed is that their access expired. The version of you that was vulnerable to spiritual mimicry no longer exists. You have crossed the line. And on this side, there is protection, but also purging. You may cry over some of the people who are about to exit your life. You may question why a certain door suddenly closed. But I, Michael, tell you, don't chase what heaven just evicted. Let me show you something. There is a journal entry you wrote months ago. A prayer you whispered about clarity. You begged God to reveal who was real, who was false, and who was delaying you. Well, beloved, this is the answer. This is that moment. And my sword is the response. I will sever the connection between you and every spirit that has impersonated your worship, mimicked your calling, and duplicated your favor with counterfeit intentions. You have carried their weight long enough. You have made room for their manipulation long enough. You have excused their shiftiness long enough. But heaven says, enough. This sword does not come with apology. It comes with justice. You are marked now. Your spirit glows with a signature that no darkness can counterfeit. Heaven has updated your access code. From now on, Every conversation spoken in shadow will return to the sender. Every plan hatched behind your back will unravel. Every person using your story to empower their false identity will face divine silence. This is what protection looks like when Michael draws the line. And listen, I didn't just come to separate. I came to restore. You are about to regain spiritual territory. Dreams that stopped mid-sequence will resume. Revelations that felt muffled will now thunder. Opportunities that seemed delayed will now arrive with acceleration. Why? Because the imposter has been removed from the equation. The mimic has been silenced. The enemy's access has been revoked. Type 444 to agree with heaven's decision. And understand this, not everyone will clap for your deliverance. Some will miss the old version of you, the one that tolerated the familiar spirit, the one that kept the peace by sacrificing clarity. But that version of you died the moment I drew the line. You are walking into a new clarity, a new power, a new season, unduplicated and unapologetic. So I say this one final time. The sword has been drawn. The impersonator has been exposed. The boundary has been set. And from this moment forward, no weapon formed against your identity shall prosper. Archangel Michael says, the moment of revealing. The line has been drawn. Now comes the fallout. For too long, you've carried unanswered questions. Why did they change? Why do you feel drained after being near them? Why does peace leave when certain people enter your space? All of it was leading to this moment. Heaven is not just exposing what's hidden. It is about to confirm it in your reality. In the next 3 to 7 days, you will witness what you once only discerned. The spiritual will touch the physical. The whispers will become voices. The shadows will cast themselves in daylight. I, Archangel Michael, have stepped into your timeline. And what's coming cannot be reversed. You asked for proof. You cried for clarity. You said, God, just show me who they are. And heaven responded with a plan. Now, the veil begins to tear. Pay attention. Over the next 72 hours, 3 distinct signs will enter your atmosphere. A voice, a shift, a message, and every single one will carry confirmation. Let's begin with the voice. You will overhear a conversation. You may walk into a room or sit quietly while others speak. And your name will surface. It won't be shouted, but it won't be hidden either. The tone will shift when they notice you, and you'll feel the tension in your spirit before your ears catch the words. This is not coincidence. This is divine strategy. Your body will know before your mind understands. You'll feel heat in your chest when they enter the room. You'll feel sudden exhaustion after being in their presence. Your dreams will carry tension or flickers of shadow when they're near. That's not paranoia. That's your discernment reactivating. For too long, you've called this spiritual reaction mood swings. But it's not emotional. It's prophetic resistance. The enemy tried to dull your sensitivity. But I, Michael, am sharpening it again. In the next few days, there will be moments where you suddenly feel unsafe in familiar settings. You'll hear something in your spirit like, don't go there. End that call. Wait before responding. Those aren't thoughts. Those are instructions. Heaven is preparing your atmosphere for the final sign, and that final sign will be a message. Yes, you will receive something undeniable. It might be a message sent by accident, a post that reveals more than it should, a person slipping up and exposing what they know, a prophetic word you never expected to land so directly, and when it arrives, you will know. Your heart will pound. You may feel a chill. The room might even feel like it pauses around you. That is the moment of revealing. That is heaven saying, this is the one. This is the evidence. This is the end of your confusion. Archangel Michael says, I will not let you miss it, and here's where it becomes more personal. Someone you've been loyal to, someone you prayed with, helped, loved, or protected, is about to show their alignment. And it won't be subtle. They'll act off. They'll suddenly pull away or become overly affectionate. They'll try to reinsert themselves into your space or exit without reason. Both responses are signs. You're not imagining their shift. You're witnessing their spiritual discomfort under divine exposure. The spirit they entertained cannot hide under heaven's spotlight. They will feel pressure and either lash out or go silent. They may even try to gaslight your intuition. You're being too sensitive. Don't fall for it. You've been too quiet for too long. But the silence ends now, because heaven is not only revealing who, but why. Over the next 7 days, a divine explanation is coming. The person behind your delay is not just being exposed, they are being removed. Do not interfere. Do not try to fix what God is separating. Do not let nostalgia or shared history blind you to the urgency of this hour. Michael says, "Your obedience is the door to your freedom." Now let me tell you what else is coming. Divine proof is not just in the exposure. It is in the reversal. That choking feeling in your dreams will disappear. Your appetite, your joy, your creativity, all will return stronger. Why? Because you were never crazy. You were under spiritual surveillance and harassment. But the moment of revealing has struck, and now your space belongs to you again. No more borrowed identity. No more spiritual theft. No more false alignment. Archangel Michael says, "I have sealed your atmosphere, and I will remain until the exposure is complete." Your next 3 to 7 days are not normal. They are sacred. Move carefully. Speak less. Pray more. Watch everything. Because the divine proof you asked for is not just coming. It's already on the way. Your phone will buzz. A message will light up your screen. A voice will tremble when they speak to you. A truth will rise that no one can deny. And when it does, I want you to say this in your spirit. This is my confirmation. This is what heaven warned me about. Type 111, if you receive this moment of revealing. Type 777, if you're ready to walk into clarity, no longer bound by imitation. The delay is ending. The betrayer is trembling, and the sword has made way for your freedom. Archangel Michael says, choose to wake up. You were never meant to live blind. You were never meant to accept confusion as normal. And tonight I declare, the blindfold is coming off. I have walked you through revelation. I have drawn the sword. I have sounded the alarm. And now, you must choose. Choose to wake up. You've seen enough signs, heard the whispers, felt the shifts, and now you know. Someone you trusted has become a spiritual gate for something dark. Something sacred has been mimicked. Your name has been whispered in rooms not meant for you. But heaven has not stayed silent. I was sent to intervene. You asked for clarity. You begged for truth. And now I ask you, what will you do with it? You cannot stay neutral. You cannot go back to sleep. You cannot pray for exposure and then protect the exposed. This is your moment of divine response. Will you rise or will you retreat? Because make no mistake, this is not entertainment. This is warfare. Heaven has drawn the line. The mask is falling, and your next step determines the next season. I, Michael, am still here, but I won't stay forever. I guard. I war. I clear the path. But only you can walk through it. Choose now. Wake up. Step away from imitation. Say yes to divine clarity. Say no to spiritual compromise. Type 888 to declare, I choose to wake up. I receive the sword of truth. I walk in light. This is not just a message. It's a final call. The impersonator has been exposed. But now it's your turn to move. Heaven is watching, and I am waiting. Archangel Michael.